Most people who are actually gifted have no idea. They think they're just weird, or too sensitive, or overthinking again. But psychologists have found a specific pattern of behaviors, 5 of them, that show up almost exclusively in people with unusually high intelligence. And the strange part? Most of these signs don't look like intelligence at all. Some of them look like flaws. Stick around, because sign number 3 is the one almost nobody talks about, and by the time we get to the last one, you're going to be replaying moments from your own life wondering how you never noticed it before. Let's start with sign number 1. If you've ever quit a hobby after 2 weeks, zoned out in meetings, or felt like a movie was too slow while everyone else was hooked, that's not a lack of discipline. Researchers have found that highly intelligent brains process information faster, so when the environment isn't stimulating enough, the brain isn't satisfied. It starts looking for something else to chew on. That's why smart people are notorious for jumping between hobbies, careers, or ideas. It's not flakiness, it's an engine that needs more fuel than most environments provide. But here's the twist. This same trait is also the reason so many intelligent people struggle in school and traditional jobs. Because the classroom, the 9 to 5, the slow-moving meeting, none of it moves at the speed their mind wants to move. If that sounds familiar, sign number 2 is going to hit even closer to home, because it's the one that gets mistaken for a mental health problem more than any other. You replay conversations. You analyze your own thoughts. You wonder why you reacted a certain way, or what someone really meant by a comment 3 days ago. This is called high self-referential thinking, and it's directly linked to elevated IQ. Your brain isn't just processing the world, it's constantly processing itself, watching itself think, questioning its own conclusions. The problem is, this can look identical to anxiety, and sometimes it feeds anxiety. But there's a key difference. Anxious overthinking is driven by fear. Genius-level overthinking is driven by curiosity. You're not just afraid of the outcome, you're actually trying to solve something. Which brings us to a sign that's almost the opposite of what people expect from a genius, because it has nothing to do with knowing the right answer. This is the one most people miss completely. We're taught that smart people have all the answers. But real intelligence research points the other way. The smarter someone is, the more comfortable they are admitting uncertainty. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it works in reverse for high performers. The more you actually understand a subject, the more you become aware of everything you don't understand. That's why the most intelligent people in any room are often the quietest, not because they have nothing to say, but because they're aware of how much more there is to learn. Meanwhile, the loudest person in the room is often the least informed and has no idea. Now, if you've made it this far, the next sign is going to feel personal, because it's not about how you think, it's about how you connect with other people. Not in a dramatic way, just a quiet sense that you're slightly out of sync with the people around you. Conversations that feel too surface level. Humor that doesn't quite land. A sense of being around people more than being with them. This isn't arrogance, and it's not a flaw in your personality. Studies on highly intelligent individuals consistently show a mismatch between their pace of thought and the pace of the average social interaction. You're not trying to be different, you're just running at a different speed, and other people can sense it even if they can't explain why. This is also why so many highly intelligent people describe feeling lonely in a room full of people. Not because they dislike others, but because true intellectual connection is rare, and they know the difference the moment they feel it. And that leads us to the final sign, the one that ties every other sign on this list together. This is the real marker. Not IQ scores, not vocabulary, not how many books you've read. Genuinely intelligent people treat being wrong as data, not defeat. They change their mind when new evidence shows up, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it means admitting they were confidently wrong 5 minutes earlier. Most people defend their opinions to protect their ego. Genuinely intelligent people update their opinions to protect their accuracy. That single difference, choosing truth over comfort, is one of the strongest psychological predictors of high-functioning intelligence that researchers have found. So if you read this list and thought, that's me for 2 or 3 or even all 5 of these, that's not a coincidence. Here's the uncomfortable part. Most people with these traits go their whole life without anyone ever telling them what they actually are. They just think they're too much, or too different, or too in their head. If any of these 5 hit close to home, comment the number that describes you the most. I read every single one. And if you want to know the one trait that separates intelligence from actual genius, the trait almost nobody develops, that's exactly what the next video is about. Don't miss it.